Hi guys, thanks for watching as always. Today we're making a quick video about different ways to connect your lure to your leader or your main line, if that's nylon or fluorocarbon. We're not going to cover any direct connections to braid because that's a topic in itself, so I'll leave that for another time. We're going to only use 2 knots for 4 different types of connections. Those 4 different connections are lures without an attachment ring, just a nose ring, just like this Ito Shiner right here. Lures with a nose ring, like this Depths Buzz Jet with a split ring. I'm going to show you a quick knot that I use for weighted Texas rigged soft plastics with the worm hook and a sinker. And then on the side I'll also tell you a little bit about jig-head connections. Now we're not going to cover any very heavy type of lure fishing, just like jigging or popper fishing for GTs or marlin fishing. We're going to keep it to the run-of-the-mill lure fishing, whether that's barramundi in Australia, bass or trout in the US, pike and perch in Europe. So we're keeping it pretty simple. I'm just going to use some 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. That's going to be light in certain situations and too heavy in others. But it helps me with showing the knots to you guys. So let's get to the first knot. Alright guys, so here we have the Depths Buzz Jet. It's one of my favorite surface lures. It's a wake bait, and as you can see, it's got a single ring at the front to attach the lure. So let me grab some leader here, and I'll show you how I attach it. Because there's a ring on there, just like with this little Deka Hamakaru from Jackal, you don't really have to worry about creating enough movement space for the lure. The manufacturer's already taken care of that. It's very kind of them. And so what we can do is create a knot that is the least bulkiest, essentially, and make sure that it's obviously a very strong connection knot. So what I like to do is a very simple knot. You have to get the leader through here, put the leader through just like so, hold the leader with your index finger and your thumb, you grab the tag end, wrap it around. I go about 4 on 30 pounds, so you might want to increase the amount if you got a lighter leader, or decrease it to 3 or so if you got a heavier leader. And then as we make the coils, it goes back through the loop that we created before. So let me show you that one more time before I fully tighten it off. Leader is through the split ring. Grab the tag end with our index finger and our thumb. Pull the rest of the tag end straight. Start wrapping so that it creates a loop here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And through the loop. Pull it tight. Wet it. Pull the tag end tight, slide it on, and as a final touch, pull the tag in again. There you have it. Obviously snip the tag end off. You can do that very close to the knot because it's a very good connection. They have a very smooth knot, not a really bulky knot either, so that's very good. Alright, so now we'll go to the point where we're looking at the knot that we use for the lures without a ring connection. That's the very well-known loop knot. There's a couple of ways you can do them. There's a couple of correct ways you can do them, and there's a couple of incorrect ways you can do them. The incorrect ones tend to have a bit of a kink in the loop that you make, and if you use heavy leader, that doesn't make your lure swim straight. So here's a way that you can tie your loop knot and make sure that the loop stays straight and for your lure to have an optimal swimming action. Now we're going to have a look at the knot that I use for lures that don't have a connection ring on there. I don't know if it originally had a connection ring, but or that I would have taken it off, but either way, at the moment it doesn't have one. This is a Megabass Ito Shiner. It's broken, unfortunately. The tail got bitten off, but either way we can still use it for these videos. So the knot that I like to use is an improved loop knot. Now, as I said before, there's various ways in which you can tie a loop knot, but this is one that definitely works, keeps the loop nice and straight, don't have any problems with it. So before we put the line through the nose ring, we make a double granny knot, which is not just once but twice through the loop, like so. Make sure you've got plenty of tag end to work with, and we pull it tight, not all the way, but tight enough to create an 8 figure. That's when we can pull it through the nose ring like so. Oops. Now with the tag end, we go through the first loop that is closest to the lure, and then the second one. As you can already see, that loop is a very symmetrical loop. It's not hanging off to one side as with some of the other loop knots. It sits straight. It's all in line with each other. That's perfect. Now we kind of want to determine how big you want the loop. I think this is for this particular lure, this is the perfect size. Then we place our index finger and our thumb right behind the figure 8, so we can create a gap. 1, 2, 3, and through. Now of course, again, if you've got lighter leader, you might want to increase those reps. If you've got heavier leader, decrease them by 1 or 2, and we can pull it tight. Wet it. There we go. Make sure everything is nice and snug. Now the loop ended up being a little bit bigger than I anticipated, but that's not bad. And as you can see, that loop is perfectly symmetrical. It sits in line with the rest of your leader, doesn't kink off to one side. Perfect. Alright, so that's all done, and we're gonna stick with the loop knot for now because there's a little trick you can do with the loop knot, and that's being used for soft plastic swim bait on Texas hooks. I guess you can also use it for worms or whatever you want. We're going to use that same loop knot, and then we're going to use a sinker in our loop connection, so that we can make sure that our soft plastic swims properly, swims straight, and has a better sink rate than obviously without a sinker. Now the next connection that I wanted to show you is the one that I'm using for weedless rig swim baits, weighted ones. Here's a little trick I learned in Australia. It's quite simple to do, and we're just using the loop knot that I just showed you before. So again, we're doing the double granny. Pull it tight, and what you can do is you put the sinker on there, and then you always want to make sure that the sinker is on the bottom of the eye. Now this is an X-Sink. It's preferable to just use a ball sinker. It fits a bit better on your hook, but just for the sake of the video this will work. But you want to make sure that that sinker sits on the bottom of your hook connection. So we're going sinker first, then through the bottom of the hook. Pull it tight. And then again, just finish up the loop knot through both gaps. There we go. We can adjust how tight we want it. I'd leave some room, some movement room in there just in case, especially when you have a bowl sinker. And then we just finish off the knot. Wet it. There you have it. There you have a sinker attached through your loop knot, and since it sits on the bottom, the hook will always face with the point up, and obviously your lure will swim straight because of it. Perfect connection, very handy tip. Awesome. Now when it comes to connections with a jig head to a soft plastic, you can use either of two knots. It really depends on what you prefer. I generally go for a loop connection with bigger soft plastic swim baits, but the moment where I use very small little soft plastics and a tiny little jig head, I don't want there to be a whole lot of movement between my knot and the attachment point, because I want to feel every little bump from the bottom and every little bite that I can. So there can't really be any movement, and so therefore I use the slip knot that I just previously showed you. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you've got any questions, as per usual, just leave it down in the comments, and we'll make sure to answer all of it. So, cheers.